What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to talk about AMC, GME as well as the broader market. So AMC was down for 7.55% for the day. As I mentioned yesterday itself, there was a lot of downward pressure coming into the stock. A lot of people were buying puts, so the price went down today quite significantly. It had a high of $19.70. The average volume on AMC is around 56.83 million, but today's volume was around 42.57 million. As I have been letting you know from the last couple of days, the volume was going down slight bit every day, which was not at all a good sign for the stock. Now where I see the stock going from here onwards, it's going to be a downtrend until unless the overall broader market start going up. We won't see any kind of a upward momentum. As we know, the market bottomed recently. There was a little bit of bull run that came into the market, which created a lot of upward momentum into AMC and GME because the shorts have to cover the short position as the market started going up. So that's why we saw some sort of a price action in AMC and GME, almost over 100% in both of them. But now we are going back down to low levels. Now let's come over to the GME. GME was down for 2.54% for the day. It had a high of $150.71. The average volume on GME is around 4.77 million, but today's volume was around 2.58 million. So the volume is almost dead. It has gone almost half of the average volume that was coming in GME. Now let's come over to the SPY. Now the SPY was down for 0.27% for the day. It had a high of $450.63, which sent some sort of a positive sentiment towards the SPY. Everybody started believing that we might started experiencing some sort of upward momentum coming into the SPY. Now these market makers, they play these games so that the traders, those who are betting money in a short term, they will have a significant losses. This is just a back and forth movement. This week was not at all a good week for a lot of traders, just because the Fed was coming out and constantly telling things which can create some sort of a fear in the market. But for next week onwards, we don't have any Fed, and we are soon going to have big tech earnings, which is going to give in guidance toward where the stock market is going to go from here onwards. Now the stock market is trying to price in 50 basis points, which is going to be increased in the next meeting. So that's why we are experiencing some sort of a downtrend. Now let's come over to the options flow for the AMC. Now by looking at the options flow and increasing the premium to max and see what the whales were doing today, all of them were onto the downside. None of them are buying any kind of a call option in AMC anymore. Now when I bring down the premium and see what exactly the retail is doing, majority of the retail is on to the downside. There is hardly any call buying happening. When I look at the chart to put to call ratio, you can see it yourself. 80% of it is on the put side and 20% onto the call side. But we know the stock is manipulated the way the downtrend is happening. Definitely the market maker is having a good grip over the stock right now. Let's come over to the options flow for the GME. By looking at the options flow for the GME, what exactly the whales are doing, the majority of the whale are on to the upside. This is very surprising for GME. Definitely GME is holding far more better than AMC. AMC has gone down from $30 to almost $18 right now, but GME is holding very strong. Investors are still buying call options. We can see this bet came in today. It was $142 call option. This can expire in another 5 days, and this individual is buying 1,403 contracts and he's paying 1.23 million for it. That's a lot of money that's being betted on GME to go up from here onwards. And you can see it for yourself. Majority of the big whales were onto the upside for the stock. When I bring down the premium and see what exactly the retail is doing, the retail is having a mixed sort of a sentiment. Some of them are onto the downside and some of them are onto the upside, but they are all betting in a very short duration put and call options. When I bring up the chart and see what exactly the retail is doing, definitely the call side is heavier than the put side, but the retail is definitely having a slight bit sentiment towards the downside. Like I just mentioned, I said a lot of people are buying 5 days expiration call options, 5 days put options. The stock can go both the ways in a very aggressive manner. The rest, there was nothing suspicious coming out of the options flow for the GME. Now let's come over to the options flow for the SPY and see what exactly the whales are doing. There was not such any kind of a extremely big whale that was coming in today, but these institutional money that was bet today was all on to the downside. All of them are betting that the SPY is going to keep going down from here onwards. Now when I bring down the premium and see what exactly the mini whales are doing, majority of them are onto the downside. Now when I bring up the chart and see what exactly the put to call ratio is, definitely the put side is heavier than the call side, but it's still a 48% call side that's coming into the SPY. I also personally believe the SPY is gonna go up from here onwards. Now when I look at the options flow, there was nothing majorly suspicious coming out of the options flow for the SPY. There was this only one bet that came in. It's a $437 put option that's gonna expire in 4 days, and this individual is paying $987,000 for it, and he's buying 14,104 contracts. That's a lot of contracts that he's buying, and he's betting that the SPY is gonna go down to at least $437. The rest, there was nothing majorly suspicious was coming out of the options for the SPY. So from the next week onwards is the earnings season is kicking off. Big banks earnings and a hot inflation report could savvy market in a short holiday week. So next week we have 4 trading days. The CPI number is going to be released as well next week. It's going to be pretty crucial week as the bank's earnings are going to get started. We're going to get a little bit idea about where the market is going to head from here onwards. And we're going to have a CPI number as well, which can definitely create some sort of a fear in the market. In the month of March, it was 7.9%. In the month of April, it's definitely going to be higher, a slight bit than what it was in the past, which can create a little bit more fear into the market because the inflation is getting out of control. And what is going to be the consequence of it on the market? That's all going to be priced in by the end of the week. Now, hope for the best and just let's see what's going to happen next week. Hope so you like my video. Please like and subscribe my channel, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Cheers.